of meetings and consultations, I am extremely satisfied to be able to conclude that after all of the deliberations, the sometimes heated discussions, one thing is also very evident from the declaration that we will sign shortly, and that is that all 4 parliaments of the kingdom continue to see the need to have deliberations in the context of IPCO. It is the only platform that until now we have in order to have the 4 parliaments come together and deliberate matters that affect all of our islands. I want to now also publicly to the other countries via the media of those countries express my gratitude to all of the delegations that came to St. Martin and participated in the IPCO discussions. My appreciation to the delegations of Aruba, the Netherlands, and Curacao for their participation, their input, and the sense to want to continue these discussions as parliaments of the kingdom. Thank you to all of those who have been here and assisted us with reaching this far. In addition to the many topics which we discussed, matters like the effect of the situation in Venezuela on the islands and countries within the Dutch Kingdom, the matter of the dispute regulation, issues like the Sustainable Development Goals that are international measuring targets and goals for all of the issues that affect our populations, starting with poverty and ending with the goal and target, the last one, where it is so important to be able to forge partnerships. And from that perspective, I believe IPCO is also a forum for that. There are matters within the kingdom on which, in the interest of our populations, we need to be able to close ranks. Again, notwithstanding all of the discussions, I think that we have concluded that we will continue to have our ranks as members of parliament, parliaments, chambers, to have those ranks close and pursue the matters that are in the interest of all of our populations. And for that, I am grateful on behalf of St. Martin to have been the host of this conference, because I believe that we are signing off the decision list of this IPCO with a firm understanding that we must continue to work together. The dispute regulation, and much has been said and stated, agreements made in this context, IPCO context, in 2015, strong agreement, hard agreements by all of the parliaments. However, as far as we are concerned, a new trajectory is to be entered, and that is the legislative trajectory to come to a kingdom law. And it is especially in that area that the members, all of the members of all of the parliaments of the kingdom need to have that resolve that we want to come out of now that trajectory with a dispute regulation that we believe meets the needs of all of the countries of the kingdom. The matter of Venezuela and the effect of the situation there for our countries. Again, it's an area where we must work together and assist where necessary in order for us to face the effects of that situation. So I am still pleased, after all the days of discussions, that the members of this IPCO are confident to move ahead together and work on the matters, not only those that I mentioned, but all of them. Share information with regard to election observation, exchange information, as I mentioned, about the Sustainable Development Goals and the progress or bottlenecks that we might encounter in achieving those goals. Also important during the discussions today, up to today, is of course the relationships within the kingdom and inventorizing our feelings about that relationship. We have some good things going on in the kingdom. We also feel there are some bottlenecks in that relationship. We look at a charter that has governed us for so many decades, but the best thing of all of it is that we are prepared to talk about these issues.
Tell them, connecting you.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
Contents of the presentation. First of all, public housing before Irma. We'll give a framework, and after the Hurricane Irma of 2017, we will give what is indicated in the National Recovery and Resilience Plan, the NRRP, as well as activities that are being conducted with the Association of Dutch Municipalities International, so the VNGE, what they're doing for the Hurricane Reconstruction Program. Next slide. Text is a bit small, but basically the framework, we work with the Housing Development Foundation, and in 1997 there was a performance agreement signed with the Housing Foundation that basically set out what the government, how the government supports the Housing Foundation in the area of public housing, and it concerns the construction and the management of emergency homes, 200 emergency homes, 474 rental homes in Belvedere, as well as at the time, it was indicated for 96 homes for rental at Hope Estate. That has changed somewhat because the Hope Estate project did not get realized until the realization of the harbor buyback protocol, which in 2010 resulted in the realization of 70 homes at Hope Estate. And later, a few years later, there was another agreement signed, a management agreement with Hope Estate, with the Housing Foundation for Hope Estate, which involved the additional construction of 24 homes. And also there's a management agreement within that, or with the Housing Foundation, based on which the Housing Foundation manages a so-called revolving fund on behalf of the government and manages those homes. There is a yearly government subsidy that the government gives to the Housing Foundation on behalf of residents that reside in the homes of the renters of the Housing Foundation, to an amount of 475,000 guilders per year. There's also an indexation to that amount which at the moment there is some shortfalling in terms of the indexation of those amounts. Next slide, please. Before the hurricane, in 2017, the Housing Foundation had several projects online for which they were discussing with the government, as well as seeking financing to realize. It concerned several areas within St. Martin, as you can see, in Coal Bay, 28 homes, in Sucker Garden, 32 homes, and so forth. And of course, those projects did not yet get realized. Some of them were ready for construction, building permit ready, and so on. But then we had the onslaught of the hurricane, and things changed quite a bit with respect to the plans of the Housing Foundation, which you will see. Next slide. So, after the strike of the hurricane, I'll talk about public housing after Irma. So the situation at the moment, actions that are projected within the NRRP, as well as I indicated, what's being done with the VNG International in terms of housing. Next slide. So the situation at the moment, most of this information is based on our statistics, and as well as information gathered by ECLAC, and which was translated also in the NRRP together with the World Bank. We have an estimated 19,000 housing units on St. Martin, of which it is estimated that about 60% of those are rental homes. Mostly single-family detached homes is the housing type that is predominant. And in terms of social housing or affordable housing, the Housing Foundation has a total of 769 homes which they rent. The Housing Foundation basically serves a monthly income up to 3,500 guilders per month, and basically that amount adds up to about 50% of the households being eligible for housing from the Housing Foundation. Based on the projections, we expect that there's a demand for households of 400 additional units per year, while based on building permit projections, the supply is actually maybe half that per year. This was based on building permits requested between 2012 and 2016. Now, Hurricane Irma is estimated to have damaged, devastated, and about 70 to 85% of the housing stock, where based on some information, the waiting list from the Housing Foundation grew from 1,500 to somewhere around 9,000 applicants. There's a question mark behind that, because other information indicates that it might be less, but this is information that is indicated from the investigations done by the World Bank.
Hello, St. Martin. My name is Stephanie Medina, and I play football with the Walichi Women's soccer team. I have represented St. Martin in many different games. For example, the Dutch Caribbean Women's Soccer Cup. I played against Bonaire, Aruba, and Curacao right here in this stadium. Sports matter to me because it makes me happy, it keeps me fit and healthy, and it is very fun. So I ask the business community to take on this challenge and help us rebuild our facilities. And I also ask the community to nominate the local businesses in your area and take on the challenge and step up for sport. Why? Because sports matter. Check out the Department of Sport Facebook page for more information. Hashtag sports matter, hashtag are you in?
Hey ma, how you doing? You busy?
I hear, just paying some bills, taking care of business, you know what it is?
I know, you're doing your online banking.
I don't have to stand in those long lines to pay bills. I can transfer when I want. I can check my account wherever. It's like the bank open 24/7. I even here checking the statement right now as we're talking. How's Miami?
Well, that's why I'm calling. I'm finishing up a few songs now, but I'm afraid that studio time might be more than I thought. And I was wondering if I could get some help with some funds, and I could pay you back as soon as I get back to St. Martin.
Let me check my account. How much you need?
I think 500 should be enough.
I can transfer it to you while online. Direct from me to you. No problem.
Great. Thank you so much, Ma. I'll get online with Viv now.
Alright, darling. You know who you're for?
I need to know who you're for.
Contact WIB today for your complete personal online banking experience. Available for all mobile devices, the Wynwood Islands Bank, now your online banking partner in progress.
Who you're for.
How much longer would the teachers in public education have to wait for the schools to be rebuilt and repaired stronger and better? Yesterday, there was a whole terrible experience at one of our public schools where after they got woke up to inclement weather where there was a heavy rainfall, when they arrived at the place of their work, all classrooms were underwater and water was even coming through the electrical lines in the roof of these buildings. In this case, the teachers that are working at the schools had to then become cleaners. So their chalks and whiteboards, etc., had to be turned in mops and buckets. One of the things that have developed in public schools is that the cleaning has been outsourced to a company. So all the cleaners that worked at the schools for a number of years were taken away abruptly by management of facility department. They even did not consult nor inform the schools adequately. So these cleaners that would have been there to perform, a halfway meeting between the teachers and them, they would be able to do that cleaning up. The teachers had to now do everything by themselves before starting their teaching, sessions in the morning. And basically, it's because the cleaning company comes in at a specific hour, which is the end of the day. So if there is any mishaps that happens during the day, the cleaners are not on the premises anymore. And furthermore, the teachers felt very, very aggravated by the move because these cleaners have grown like a family within the school. So if the policies were to remove them, they felt that at least there should have been a little development where they could say thank you to those cleaners and bid them farewell for the job that they have done for all these years. These type of acts are also inhumane And at a given moment, the teachers call on their union to represent and beat their voice because they are actually fed up. The announcements of all the measures that has happened after Hurricane Irma and Maria, all the plasters that have been put on the roofs, etc., down to the tarpaulins, those were quick fix that are not right now, that are not holding. And basically the teachers have performed under these circumstances. They have shown patience, but they too are now reaching to the conclusion. We are 1.5 years after. When will our school be rebuilt and repaired stronger and better? 2 weeks ago, there was very much high wind, so even the heavy-duty tarpaulin that was placed with wooden screws and everything, that actually succumbed to the heavy wind, and to the weather conditions. They are looking and crying out for more structural solutions. Someone has to come up and have to have this basically put into programs of rebuilding the schools, and no information is passed on, so they don't know as teachers when they have to endure. But one thing I know, that as a union we will be pressing, because occupation, health and safety in the schools for not only the children but for the teachers also should be one of our priorities.
It's been said that behind every door, possibility awaits. How much possibility depends on which door you open first. Every day, we help our customers discover the possibilities in their lives. It all starts with a conversation. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
Well, let me just clarify something. We, as a union, doesn't represent Maho workers. Okay, they have another union that represent them. So, however, there were 5 of those employees from Maho who didn't sign a document that the other Maho workers did sign, and they came to us for advice, and we advised them not to sign. They are in the process of pursuing a court proceeding. With regard to Great Bay, we represent Great Bay workers. The same documentation was given to Great Bay workers to sign, and none of the Great Bay workers signed the document because we advised them not to sign. The document that they wanted them to sign at that time asked them to waiver their rights to any claim, monetary-wise, salary-wise, and otherwise. Okay? Now, we could never accept that. Okay? So, that is the difference between Great Bay and Maho. So, Great Bay workers, and that's one of the court cases that is, let's say, pending. Because while we are in discussion, and there are a number of factors why we haven't pursued further with that proceedings. We're in discussion with management concerning an amicable solution to what is happening. But there has been some other complications with regards to government and the owners, new owners, old owners, and so on, which, I don't have detail on that, and I won't go into even if I had details on that. But as far as where the workers is concerned, we are making sure that the workers' rights are protected. And like I said, any other employee that come to us, we will always advise them accordingly.
As it pertains to the Great Bay hotel workers, are they still being compensated in one way or the other?
Well, you see, one of the things that has widespread concern is that there is this thing called training, where the Maho group initiated, and I won't go into detail about it, but the operation of that has us concerned. And while there is let's say, cooperation between the Maho group, the company that owned and operated Maho and Great Bay, government, and the World Bank, is, let's say, having an understanding about the training. We have a different view on that, and we haven't been involved in a discussion with the World Bank or the government concerning our views about the training. But we have talked to the foundation. We have talked to Great Bay management, and there are still some areas where discussions still has to be finalized, because I don't really understand the detailed agreement with regards to that training for workers. I know from one meeting that I attended that it's supposed to be a general training initiative for all of the industry, but that is not the case. It's not the case.